Shawn Michael Bentler was born on February 5 in 1983. His parents were Michael Bentler, age 53, and Sandra Bentler, age 47. Shawn was the oldest of 4 children. He had 3 beautiful sisters, Sheena, age 17, Shelby, age 15, and Shane, age 14. Michael Bentler graduated from Fort Madison High School and attended college in Kirksville, Missouri. He was an avid outdoor sportsman. He was a member of the advisory board of Holiday Kitchens, the marketing committee of Southeast Iowa Builders Association, the National Kitchens Bath Associates, Pheasants Forever, and the Pope Young Club. Sandra Bentler graduated from Fort Madison High School. While attending high school, she worked at the Fort Madison Can Company, and as an assistant manager for Hardee's. She enjoys the river and boating. She also enjoyed traveling all over the world, and loved the outdoors. She was an active member in the Harmony Athletic Boosters, and the St. Boniface Catholic Church in Farmington. Sheena was a senior at Harmony High School, where she was going to be an early graduate. She was going to be awarded valedictorian of her class. She was active in chamber choir, barber shop, the National Honor Society for Talented and Gifted Students. She also was in the art club, on the student council, a class officer, in Quiz Bowl, and on the Society of Academic Achievement. She played trap shoot, cross country, basketball, softball, and was the statistician for Fatback. She loved the outdoors, enjoyed hunting, and loved boating. Shelby was a sophomore at Harmony High School. She was active in the art club and Society of Academic Achievement. She ran in track, played basketball and softball. She also loved the outdoors, boating and hunting. Shane was a freshman at Harmony High School. She played basketball, ran track, and was in the art club. She also enjoyed the outdoors, hunting and boating. Shawn graduated in 2002 from Harmony High School. While attending school, he ran on the track team. Shawn attended John Wood Community College in the summer of 2002 but dropped out before the first semester was finished. Shawn currently works at Neil Coleman Auto Sales in Quincy, Illinois. The Bentlers were an affluent family that owned and operated an elevator and lumber company. The company served the majority of southeast Iowa. The family lived in rural Bonaparte in Iowa in their 4,000-square-foot home. The home sits on just under 500 acres of land located at 23894 Hawk Drive. 23-year-old Shawn lived over an hour away in Quincy with his roommate 22-year-old Travis Holder. At approximately 3:30 a.m. on October 14 in 2006, a 911 call was made by 14-year-old Shane. She told the operator that her mother had instructed her to call because her mother feared her brother was going to do something. She was unsure of what was happening. Shane tells the operator that her mother is screaming at Shawn saying don't. A few seconds later, a woman's voice in the background can be heard saying, "Please don't, please Shawn don't." A gunshot can be heard over the phone. A few seconds later, Shane screams, "Shawn no," then the line goes dead. While the operator was speaking with Shane, another emergency call came into the police station. After the call with Shane ended, the 911 operator attempted to switch over to the second 911 call, but the line was dead. The operator attempted to call that number back, but it went to Shelby Bentler's voicemail. The operator checked the number, and the cell service was listed under Sandra Bentler, so the operator called the Bentlers' home but got no answer. At 3:55 a.m. police arrived at the Bentlers' residence. Upon entry, they discovered the lifeless bodies of Sandra, Michael, Sheena, Shelby, and Shane. Michael's body was found in the doorway to the master bedroom. Sandra's body was found at the top of the stairs. Shane's body was found in a closet. Shane had the imprint of the phone on her face. The bullet went through the phone into her face. Pieces of the phone lay scattered around her body. Shelby's body was also found in another closet, with her cell phone near her body. Sheena's body was found on her bed. All family members had multiple gunshot wounds by a .22 caliber rifle. An intensive investigation was launched. Shawn Bentler's cell phone was found at the residence. When call logs were pulled, it showed a call from that location at 12:09 a.m. on October 14 to a friend. This put Shawn Bentler at his family's home on the night of the murders. The Bentler murders were the most gruesome in Van Buren County in over 16 years. Police suspected Shawn of murdering his family. He was the only surviving member. Iowa authorities contacted Quincy authorities and requested they place Shawn Bentler under surveillance since he lived under their jurisdiction. On the morning after the murders, Bentler left his Quincy home at around 10 a.m. on his motorcycle. At 10:20 a.m. he was stopped by Quincy police for driving without a valid license, and an outstanding warrant. He was taken into custody on unrelated charges. Authorities did not let him know about the murders. Iowa authorities immediately drove to Quincy to interview their suspect. After the interview, Shawn Bentler was strip-searched, dressed in jail clothes, and went through booking procedures. The clothes he was wearing and his personal effects were taken and placed in 4 separate paper bags, which were sealed and labeled. At 9:30 p.m. on the same day, those paper bags were handed over to the Iowa Department of Criminal Investigation agent Rick John. John placed the 4 paper bags in the back seat of a car. Agent Darrell Simmons transported the evidence to the Van Buren County Sheriff's Office. On October 15 in 2006, Shawn Bentler was charged with 5 counts of first-degree murder. Arrest warrants were issued. He was served in Illinois. Bentler waived extradition, and was transferred to Iowa law enforcement officers. He was taken to the Van Buren County Jail. He was held on a $2.5 million cash-only bond to ensure that he remained in jail. Dave Sallin was appointed as Bentler's attorney. He requested that Bentler be released on his own recognizance. He argued that Bentler was unable to post a very high bond, and reminded those in the courtroom that Bentler is innocent until proven guilty. Judge Mullins ruled that the cash-only bond would stand. He remained in jail under suicide watch. A search warrant issued on October 25 in 2006 allowed the police to open the bags and test the contents for trace evidence. The socks Shawn Bentler was wearing on the day of the murders contained blood matching the DNA of his mother, Sandra Bentler. Funeral services were held at Harmony High School for Michael, Sandra, Sheena, Shelby, and Shane. More than 2,000 family and friends were in the school's gymnasium. There was an altar at one end and family photos on the other end. Monitors were placed in classrooms for additional people to watch since the gymnasium was full. Hundreds of people watched on monitors in classrooms. Michael Bentler's brother, Greg, spoke at the funeral saying, "When you met Mike or Sandy once, you loved them forever." And one of Sandra Bentler's sisters said she had always looked up to Sandy. Even as children, Sandy never made her feel like the bratty little sister. Sheena, Shelby and Shane were remembered by friends. They were remembered for their good behavior, and also their sense of humor and adventure. One friend told of Sheena's love for writing. She read one of Sheena's essays that described her perfect paradise, a quiet tropical island with a simple hut, a sandy beach, and a serene peaceful feeling. The Bentlers were described as knowing what was important, not material things, but family, community, and God. There was only one mention of Shawn Bentler, the man who stood accused of murdering his own family. Father Spiegel said, "When the balance of our lives is weighed down with very great hurt, it will not be made to balance by great hate. If found guilty, justice will demand that Shawn Bentler lose his liberty, but there is more balance to consider, balancing injury with love. Hold him accountable. yet do not hate, but love. Following the service, 4 copper caskets and 1 urn was taken to the Bonaparte cemetery where all the family members were laid to rest. Keith Gratz, Shawn's best friend, and an ex-roommate, spoke with reporters. He said he grew up with Shawn, they went to school together and graduated together, and moved into an apartment together. He said Shawn was a good friend, but a horrible roommate. He said he was lazy, and horrible with paying bills, especially rent. He could not keep a job. Gratz said he remembers Shawn was always behind on paying child support for his 2 young daughters, as well as rent and other bills. He said when it would get to the point that rent was piling up on Shawn's end, he would push Shawn to pay, and he would make a trip to his parents' house and come back with jewelry, bags of quarters, and money. He believes Shawn was stealing from his parents' safe. He said he was always selling stuff that he brought back from his parents' home. He said he moved out of the apartment he shared with Shawn and Holder just weeks before the murders took place. Gratz said, he wasn't the type of person to ask for help. Gratz says he has things to help him keep his mind off of the murders. He has no desire to talk with Bentler, but admits he keeps up with the case through the media. I've been through the best of times and worst of times with Shawn, but nobody saw this coming, nobody, he said. You know the guy for 22 years, and then this happens. Shawn pled not guilty, and chose a bench trial instead of a trial by jury. A judge would ultimately decide his fate. Shawn Bentler's trial began in 2007. Prosecutors believed he murdered his family to inherit the family fortune. Prosecutors believe he waited for his roommate to go to sleep so he could sneak and use his car. He drove to his family's home over an hour away, then shot his mother once. She begged for him to stop. Blood evidence proved that she tried to get away, and warned her children as she stumbled through the home before he shot her again. Then he shot the rest of his family members, some as they were hiding in closets and on the phone desperately trying to call for help. After murdering his family, he drove back to his apartment in Quincy. Shawn's defense attorney tried to suppress the 911 tape, referring to it as hearsay. However, the judge allowed the tape to be played. Judge Mullins toured the Bentler home where the murders took place. During the trial, Shawn's roommate, Travis Holder, testified that he saw Shawn at their apartment on the night of the murders at 1:30 a.m. then went to bed, and Shawn was there when he woke up. He said that when he got into his car to drive to work, his gas light was on and he was empty of gas. He testified that he had over a quarter tank when he last drove his car the day before. Lexi Leslie, the mother of one of Shawn's daughters, and his current girlfriend, testified that Shawn told her about a week before the murders that he wouldn't have money troubles after his parents died. She said the conversation came about when she demanded he start paying to help take care of their 19-month-old daughter Avalie. She also testified that Shawn asked her if he murdered somebody if she would continue to see him, and allow him to see their daughter. Jerry McLemore, the Associate State Medical Examiner, testified about the injuries each family members suffered. She also showed a series of photos emphasizing bullet wounds, and where each body was found. Some family members left the courtroom before the photos were shown to keep from seeing them. Other family members left once the photos started, and others shielded their eyes and cried as the photos were shown to the court. Shawn kept his head down and did not look at any of the photos. McLemore testified that Michael, Sandra, and Sheena Bentler all died of gunshot wounds to the head. Shelby died of multiple gunshot wounds, to the head, chest and arms. And Shane was killed by gunshot wounds to the head and neck. Shawn Bentler was found guilty of all charges. During the sentencing, family members gave their victims' impact statements. Julie Bentler, Mike Bentler's sister, said, "I will never understand how you could look each of them in their eyes and do this. Your mother begging you, Shawn, don't, and you pulling the trigger and killing her anyway. I'm not sure God will forgive you for that. Greg Bentler, Mike Bentler's brother, said, they built a successful business. That, sadly, ultimately got him and his lovely wife and children killed by his own son's greed for money. Chris Mendez, Sandra Bentler's sister, said, I hate that when I want to talk to my sister, I have to go to the cemetery. Darlene Bentler, mother of Mike Bentler, said, he looks innocent but he's a cold-blooded killer. Lisa Simmons, Mike Bentler's sister, said, I think you will be tormented for the rest of your life on earth and what lies ahead. I'd like to believe people pay dearly for their sins and you are treated in life as you treat others, so Shawn. God help you, you'll need it. Marty Mendez, brother of Sandra Bentler, said, right now is the time you need to own up to what you've done. It's time to be a man. Julia Mendez, Sandra Bentler's mother, said, I love you, Shawn, and I will pray for you always. In June of 2007, the judge sentenced Shawn Bentler to 4 concurrent life sentences, and 1 consecutive life sentence, with no chance for parole. Judge Michael Mullins said, I find in particular the killing of your mother was absolutely merciless. He is now serving out his sentence at the Anamosa State Penitentiary in eastern Iowa. Bentler's lawyers appealed based on the clothing and other evidence from the 4 paper bags. The appeal claimed that the search warrant was obtained after he initially opened the bags. He claimed that under the 4th Amendment of the United States Constitution it was unreasonable, and without probable cause, therefore illegal. After a district court hearing, the court concluded that the search warrant was obtained legally, and approved by a judge who analyzed probable cause. And although the warrant was obtained after reviewing the evidence, it was still legal. That the search was not tainted under the 4th Amendment. It was concluded that Bentler's argument of a reasonable expectation of privacy regarding his personal effects is invalid. He did not have the right to privacy once he was booked into custody, and his 4th Amendment rights were not violated. His appeal was denied. The Bentler's estate was worth $2.8 million. Due to the nature of the crimes, Shawn Bentler would not receive the inheritance, due to an Iowa law that prohibits a convicted person from benefiting from his victim's murders. Therefore, 3 separate filings were made from Sandra Bentler's parents, Michael Bentler's siblings, and Shawn Bentler's 2 children to receive the inheritance. On April 24 in 2008, Judge Wilson reviewed the Bentlers' will to determine who is the rightful heirs to the estate. In the will, the Bentlers left their estate to their children. However, they left a provision that in the event that their children died with them, the estate should be left to their grandchildren. Therefore, the judge ruled that Shawn Bentler's 2 children, Chloe Nicole and Avalie Ann, are the sole heirs. The estate would be split between the 2 grandchildren. The judge also ruled that a trust and provisions must be established due to the children's young ages. In 2015, the Bentler family home was auctioned off. Amos Zimmerman purchased the home with the winning bid for $225,000. He received a good deal on the purchase. The house came with 28 acres. It features granite countertops, 3 bathrooms, 3 decks, a swimming pool, and a hot tub. Zimmerman is well aware that a family was murdered inside the home, but says he isn't bothered by that. He said he's not superstitious and it was worth the money. The house originally came with 445 acres, but it was divided into 7 tracts of land ranging from 28 to 103 acres. All tracts of land were sold at the same auction. Shawn Bentler was lazy, and could not hold a steady job. He had 2 small daughters to pay child support on, and rent to pay. Instead of bettering himself by keeping a job, he decided to attempt the easy way out, and murder his entire family so he could claim the inheritance. The only problem, he got caught. He coldly shot his mother as she begged for her life, then shot his father and sisters. He coldly wiped out his entire family without a second thought. His 3 beautiful sisters had their entire lives ahead of them, and because of his greed they were taken away far too soon. Shawn Bentler was a monster, who deserves every second he's locked up like the animal he is. May the victims in this case rest in peace. That concludes this episode. Keep your eye out for the next volume, coming soon. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.
Want to help support the channel you love, and get something in return? Simply purchase some Elizabeth's Chronicles merch. We have coffee mugs, t-shirts, sweatshirts, cozy blankets, beach towels, phone covers and more. Use the coupon code EC10OFF4U and get 10% off your order. The link to order is in the description area below this video. Thanks for helping Elizabeth's Chronicles continue to make the videos you love.